It's your boy DJ Akademiks, and well. Now, as I said, everything that's in the dark must eventually come to light. And now, remember when I did a story about Bobby Shmurda doing his first interview with Billboard Magazine behind bars? The same interview where he called the judge and the DA haters. Now, he made a line or a comment in there that struck me very weird. He said, "I can't wait to get out that I could finish up this deal with Epic Records." Now, that struck me as completely weird. I'm like, my nigga, you barely even started that deal. What the fuck is going on? Not to mention, you haven't been bailed out. Now, it seems that Billboard Magazine, they didn't put up the full interview. They finally put up the full interview, and now we get to see what's going on. Now, in short, and we're going to get into it, Bobby Shmurda says, number one, Epic Record has not supported him. Number two, he feels like a slave to Epic Records. Number three, they haven't visited him once in jail. And number four, they have no plans of bailing him out. Every time he asks them, they keep giving him excuses about Sony doing something or the other, and Sony is the parent company. Now, remember when Bobby Shmurda was at that fucking slave auction up at Epic Records when he first got signed, dancing on tables, spinning around, doing the fucking spin-a-rooney like fucking Booker T? And I was like, Are you telling me that this kid's career, who's basically like 20 from the inner city, his career is in the hands of these middle-aged stiffs? You kidding me? I mean, listen, they had fucking Bobby Shmurda over here break dancing and shit, nobody fucking nodding their head. You had like two people nodding their heads, right? The rest of them looking like, you think this nigga will be out in the field on Sundays, or you think he'll want a day off? I mean, that's how disconnected it seemed. Now, not to say I told you so, but goddammit, I told you also. Epic Records don't give two fucks about Bobby Shmurda. And listen, I thought it was kind of rather weird how the first interview went, because Billboard put out the snippet, and now they're putting out the full interview. Now, let me read some of the full interview that had to do with his relationship with Epic Records. Check this out. And by the way, I'm reading from the full interview. So, they asked and they say, is Epic standing by you? There was some talk at the arraignment that they were going to bail you out. Now, remember, they put out some statement, even Darla, from like one of the local news outlets. She picked up the story like, they're about to bail out Bobby Shmurda. They announced it the day after he got fucking arrested. Now, this is what Bobby Shmurda said. He said, no, they're not bailing me out. They're not standing by me that much. Every time I call them, there's excuses about Sony, this and that. So it's more about people on the streets that's standing by me more than them. I'm going to butcher that shit, but he said, I haven't gotten a visit from one of them yet. Now, he later went on to touch on Epic Records again, because he said this. When I get out, I'm going to write some platinum songs. I'm going to finish up this deal with Epic so they'll get off my back. I'm starting to feel like a slave now. And then the interviewer asked him like, you want to finish up and give what you have to give them and then? And he said, yeah, at first I thought it was all love. Now everything is business. Now listen, then the next comment said, it sounds like you're disappointed they haven't done more. He said, yes, I was. I stopped looking towards them. Now, listen, man, clearly, we all knew this was the case, right? We all knew Epic Records was woofing, bluffing, right? Niggas was pump faking. They really weren't going to bail out Bobby Shmurda. It sounded good at first, because we've seen in the past, Atlantic Records did it for T.I. They bailed him out because he was a high priority asset. Now, the only thing that really fucks me up about this whole thing is that they really misled the kid. Don't put out a statement that you're going to bail him out, then say you're not. If you're not going to bail him out, be like, my nigga, we still have you on a contract, but when you get back free, we could work this shit out. Don't put out statements to make the general public and his fans think he's about to get out in a couple of days, much less a couple of weeks. Now it's going on a couple months. He's not getting out, at least by the efforts from Epic Records. He says they haven't visited him once. Fucking once. And that's one of the reasons I told you, like, by the end of this year, I believe they will drop Bobby Shmurda. Because, as I said, this interview wasn't a smart idea. Obviously, no one at Epic Records, being that they're probably smart to this stuff, they wouldn't advise him to do it. But because they're kind of leaving him out there like he's an independent artist because he's in jail and they're not trying to bail him out, he's making moves to try to sustain his career in jail. He's doing interviews talking about the case, which he shouldn't. Somebody should be there to say, you can't talk about these questions. You can't talk about anything that doesn't have to do with music. You can't talk about the judge, not the DA. But nobody's there. So it's kind of unfortunate, but everything I've thought or told you guys all along has been proven true. And this is coming from Bobby Shmurda himself. So what do you guys think? Do you think that, hey, the record label's wrong in the situation? Do you think, it's just business? I mean, most artists, they get signed, right? When you got a big hit, you get to these labels, right? And you got to, let me paint the picture for you. Don't think Epic Records is ran by a bunch of white people. They're white employees. But the head people who run Epic Records, they're both black. Not only that, the person who was kind of chaperoning Bobby Shmurda and his crew around, he's also black. Sha Money. So let's stop acting like, oh, the white man just really put a veil over him. This is fucking business. However, a lot of artists come in the music business thinking it's all friendships, daps, and pounds, and smiles, and turning up on stage, not realizing that, man, the second you stop being an asset, the second you stop bringing in revenue, the second you stop being able to work for them, nigga, they don't give a fuck about you. They're tossing you into the bushes. So what do you guys think about this, man? I knew this all along. I mean, we just needed confirmation from Bobby Shmurda's mouth, and we're getting it. Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, definitely subscribe. Follow me on social media at I'm Akademiks on Twitter, Instagram. I'm out.